President Trump defending acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker as Democrats demand his recusal from the Bob Mueller probe.
But our next guest argues there is no evidence to support the left's calls. Former DOJ official and senior fellow at the Heritage Foundation, Hans von Spakovsky, joins us now to explain. Hans, go ahead. Why do you make that argument?
Well, if you look at the actual regulations that govern conflicts of interest, Matt Whitaker doesn't have one. He's being criticized because when he was a private citizen, before he went to work at DOJ, he said that there was no obstruction of justice charge to be had here. That's actually true. Remember, it's DOJ's long-held position that a sitting president cannot be criminally indicted or charged. So all he did was relate, actually, what the policy is of the Justice Department. He's also been criticized for saying, well, he saw scant evidence that there had been any collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russian government, again, when he was a private citizen. Well, again, factually, that's correct. To date, Mueller has turned up no evidence of any kind of any collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russian government. Yeah. So there's no conflict here.
Yeah, and I mean, this may be a witch hunt, as the president says. You're right that they haven't turned up a lot of evidence, and it hasn't been going that well for the probe. At least nothing's leaking out, which is surprising. But why go around Rod Rosenstein for deputy AG? I mean, for AG, if he's the deputy, isn't he next in line? I mean, I think that's what is concerning to everybody that believes in this investigation.
Yeah, but look, there's nothing that unusual about a president making an appointment like this. Don't forget, remember, at the beginning of the Trump campaign, when they came in, they didn't trust the Obama appointees at the top of the pyramid who were still there, like Sally Yates and others, and they appointed a U.S. attorney to be the acting AG. And I don't think anyone questioned at that time the fact that they went down into the ranks of the U.S. attorney's offices to put an appointment in.
As we know, Hans, the president has been answering a lot of questions that should be wrapped up soon. They should be turned in soon, to our knowledge anyway. Once that happens, do you think this will finally be over at some point shortly thereafter?
Yeah, I think so, and I'll tell you why. Look, the standard operating procedure of the Justice Department when they are investigating a large operation is they start with the employees down at the lowest levels. They take that information and then they use it to question people at middle management, basically rolling up the organization until they get to the CEO at the top. And the fact that they've now finally gotten to the president, who is the head of the campaign, and gotten answers from him, to me indicates they've probably talked to all the witnesses they were intending to talk to in their investigation, and they're now going to do either simply writing a report on what their findings were, or whatever final indictments they might have will come out.
Let's go now to the Hillary Clinton email investigation, and we've got James Comey, Loretta Lynch. Remember the tarmac meeting and all of the, there was a lot of scrutiny on all of that happened leading up to the 2016 election. Let's listen, or let's actually read a James Comey tweet here, which was from Friday. House Republicans can ask me anything they want, but I want the American people to watch, so let's have a public hearing. Truth is best served by transparency. Let me know when is convenient. The Republicans don't want this thing to be public, right?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't have a problem with it being public, because then maybe Comey can explain why he made such a fundamental legal mistake, what I would consider malpractice, when he said that there wasn't sufficient evidence to put out an indictment against Hillary Clinton for the mishandling of classified information. He's just wrong. Any veteran prosecutor would have concluded that there was enough evidence for that, and he's got to explain why he made that decision. It looks like a partisan political decision, not one actually based on the facts and the law.
Okay. Hans, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.